Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is actually going to be something that a few of you guys have personally reached out to ask me to do on this channel. So I'm glad I can finally talk about the Korean band The Rose. I will do this video like I always do in this series, so if you don't know or haven't seen one of my videos, I first talk about the group and I'll go over their careers. Sometimes I'll add a little more info about the members, and then I will go over the more concerning and worrying things about the group, their career, company, or so on. So without any further ado, let's just start right at the beginning. Unlike other K-pop groups or bands, The Rose became friends before actually entering a company. Do Jun and Jae-hyung met each other while busking in Hongdae. However, because Do-jun was a trainee under DSP Media, he was often very busy and didn't always have time to meet up with Jae-hyung. Jae-hyung then met Ha-yoon as they would practice in the same studio, and the two started busking together. At the end of 2015, after looking for other members to join their group, Do-jun asked Jae-hyung to join as he had left DSP Media. With 3 members, they started a band called Windfall, and they would make their own music and post covers onto YouTube. They then started looking for a 4th member when a friend of Do-jun introduced them to Woo-sung. Then in 2016, the 4 boys, Woo-sung, Do-jun, Ha-yoon, and Jae-hyung entered the company J and Star Company. Their group debuted on August 3rd, 2017 with their single Sorry under the new name The Rose. The debut song didn't chart in Korea but peaked at number 14 on the Billboard World Digital Song Sales chart. The group then had their comeback with a single Like We Used To in late October of 2017. At the end of 2017, December to be more specific, Billboard named their song I'm Sorry as one of the best Korean pop songs of 2017. That same month, the group announced that they would be going on their first European tour called Painted Rose. The tour has stops in Brussels, Moscow, Istanbul, London, and more. And it was also later revealed by Woo-sung that the tour had apparently sold out. On December 24th, The Rose had their first Korean solo concert called the Black Rose Day, Black Rose referring to the band's fandom. At the start of 2018, the group was mentioned as one of the top Korean breakout artists to watch by Billboard. On April 16th of 2018, the group released their mini-album Void with the title track Baby. The album sold over 6,000 copies, peaking at 25 on the Gaon chart and at 8 on the Billboard charts. Then later that same year, on October 4th, the group released their second mini-album Dawn with the title track She's in the Rain. She's in the rain. The album peaked at 8 on the Gaon chart and at number 5 on the Billboard World Digital Song chart, selling over 5,500 copies. In early 2019, The Rose performed at KCON Japan, and then in August they released their third single, Red. And days later, they would start their world tour called We Rose You Live Tour. And later that same month, they would release their song Strangers for a K-drama. In mid-2019, one of the members, Woo-sung, would make a solo debut with a mini-album Wolf with the title track Face. I like your face. The group also started making plans for 2020. For example, it was announced that The Rose would be the opening act for Halsey's upcoming tour stop in Seoul. However, those plans were all cancelled due to the pandemic. On February 28th of 2020, The Rose sent in a certification of contents to request a termination of their contract with J and Star Company. The company also sent in a certification of contents to refute the claims made by The Rose. The Rose stated that the company was enforcing an unreasonable amount of work and schedules, and they also said that there was a lot of issue with payments. The same day that the news broke out, a source from J and Star Company said that the group had unilaterally notified them of their contract termination and claimed that the band had said they would not participate in any performances or schedules made by the company. Then the company released an official statement saying that the group had claimed a lack of payment, breakdown of trust, and violation of their exclusive contract as reasons for their termination. The company then said, quote, "However, the violation of the exclusive contract that The Rose is claiming is not true," end quote. Jane Star Company also said that apparently all schedules were announced and discussed with the group beforehand and that the group were given payment information for the whole contract. The company lastly added that the Rose refused to talk to them and they were considering legal action for compensation for damages. A few days after the news broke on March 3rd, all 4 members of the Rose posted once again. It included a photo of their exclusive contract as well as a statement written by their lawyer. The statement is a bit long, so I'll be popping it up on the screen as I go over the most important parts. Quote, the Rose received their balance statement from their agency Jane Star Company on January 31st, 2020. Despite the fact that the exclusive contract states that payment should occur every month, the first balance statement was distributed on March 27th, 2019. At the time, there were no earnings to be distributed, and enough profits to distribute were earned at last in 2019. However, even then, one member had a negative balance and had no profits to be distributed to him. The law firm, as representatives of the Rose, sent in a notice on February 6, 2020 to request documentary evidence of the calculation of payments within 10 days, but Jane Star Company provided no response. Since there was no response within the 2 weeks of the correction period, as stated by the exclusive contract, we sent in a notice of termination on February 21st, 2020, and Jane Star Company had no response despite receiving the notice on February 24th, 2020. The Rose was not aware in the slightest of the conditions Jane Star Company had set while signing contracts for the Rose concert held domestically and abroad. The Rose were
unilaterally
notified of schedules for the first half of 2020 without having members' physical and mental readiness and condition taken into consideration. Although Jane Star Company had sent a reply on February 27, 2020, there were no documents regarding the evidence of calculation of payments as requested by the Rose, and along with the excuses that there were no profits, the company only warned and threatened the Rose with civil and criminal law action worth billions of won. What the Rose has requested from the agency constitutes a minimal rights of celebrity as defined by the standard exclusive contract, and as the company had not accepted even that request, there was no other choices than to terminate the contract. The law firm will pray that this case will quickly resolve so that the Rose can meet their fans as soon as possible, and we will do our best in order to protect the rights of the Rose, end quote. Just a day after this statement was made, Jane Star came out with their own statement regarding the post by the group the day prior. The company said that the group was not telling the truth and even accused them of deception by saying, quote, the Rose is making absurd claim that they did not receive any payments, did not properly receive proper documents regarding this, and that the agency should pay for all of their expenses for promotions. However, we have provided the Rose with all billing information throughout the duration of the exclusive contract and informed the Rose that they can check the details regarding this. We have also confirmation in writing that they received this information. In addition, we have proceeded with all promotions including overseas tours, concerts, and TV appearances by revealing information and schedules beforehand to the Rose, and also completed practice, makeup, and other schedules after consultation with the Rose. Although the Rose claims that to have carried out 2 years of deadly schedules from 2018 until now, they are changing their stance whenever it's most favorable to them by stating that they actively promoted with various TV appearances, OSTs, and overseas tours in 20 countries with over 50 concerts in their March 3rd statement and in the press. Until now, the Rose has deceived the agency with numerous lies, including unauthorized absences, problems with romantic partners, and contracts and creative activities with third parties, all of which have caused a major disruption in the agency's business plans that were prepared for a long time. The Rose has rejected all conversation and informed us of our refusal to take part in a promotion such as pre-scheduled concert plans and TV appearances and announced the termination of their contract. Due to the Rose's unilateral notice, we are suffering huge losses and damages due to the non-fulfillment of plans and events. As much, we have provided full support and a stepping stone for the Rose's domestic and international growth. We will be taking strong legal action for all legal and realistic measures, penalty and damages, and criminal liability for the situations listed above. We express regret over the Rose defaming and slandering our reputation. Thank you. End quote. After these statements, everything went quiet. Next time you heard about the group was on July 6th when Dajun enlisted into the military. Then on August 3rd, 3 of the 4 members, excluding the one who had just left for the military, posted a statement on their new social media. They thanked their fans for sticking with them as their 3rd debut anniversary had just passed, and they said that they were bringing a small gift to their fans. Later that same month, the band released a single called Black Rose after their fan club. This song was also uploaded onto a new social media page for the Rose. Just a few days after the song was posted on August 31st, 2020, Jane Star Company revealed that the chorus had denied the group's request for contract termination. In the company statement, they also added, quote, "The arbitration is currently underway through the Korean Commercial Arbitration Board. We are attempting to resolve the matter in an amicable way," end quote. Then in late 2020, both Ha-yoon and Jae-hyung enlisted in the military. After the update from the company given in August, from what I found, there's been no updates about the group or its members. The original The Rose Twitter account has not been updated since February 21st of 2020, and the new social media of the band has also stopped hosting since the release of their song Black Rose. The members themselves are still active on Instagram, at least to some degree, as some of them are in the military. Woo-sung posts once in a while on his Instagram, and his bio still says The Rose, but from what I can tell, he doesn't really talk about what's going on. Do-jun also posts from time to time, but I believe he's still enlisted since men have to serve around 20 months in the military. His bio also says The Rose, and in his latest Instagram post, he said, quote, "Keep calm and hold on, hashtag stay strong, hashtag Black Rose," end quote. Same with Ha-yoon, he posted recently, and his bio also mentions the band. Jae-hyung is the only member who hasn't posted on Instagram since last year, and his last post was the same day he enlisted. A lot of Black Roses are very worried about the group's future, and as I said earlier, some have personally reached out to me to talk about them. There was a lot of hope for the group until the court denied the contract termination. Unless the group brings more evidence info into the case and refiles it, they're most likely gonna be stuck under Jane Star Company. This is always a serious matter, but it's probably a lot harder since the group came in together into the company. They are family, so they can't just leave each other there. A lot of people think the Rose won't make a comeback and they will just disband, which is very upsetting since the group was loved by many fans and had a worldwide fan base. The group was very overworked no matter how people look at this. For their We Rose You Live World Tour, their tour started in August of 2017, and then later that same month they went to the States, where the groups would have concerts every other day in multiple states. And then just after the American part of the tour finished, they went to Europe and had multiple stops. This tour started just a month after the band had been in the show Superband, not giving them any breaks, as they most likely had to go straight from the TV show to practicing for their tour. Keep in mind with all these schedules and appearances that the group also made their own music. From what I can understand and what I can tell, the company was also planning another tour in America with 17 stops in just a month. On top of this, the group was not paid properly, which is very interesting to me because on top of them being self-producing, they also toured a lot. For those who might not know, it is believed that in most cases, K-pop artists get the most money from their company when touring, so they should be getting paid at least a little bit. For example, this chart here shows that in most cases, idols will profit most from overseas promotions. Now, take it with a grain of salt, as this is an old chart and there's also just a handful of companies, and we can't be 100% sure this is accurate, but as I said, it is pretty well known within the K-pop scene that overseas promotions and tours make idols a lot of money. But why do people think that the group is gonna disband? Well, since the contract termination was denied, this means that the group is still stuck under Jane Star Company. Unless the two come to a conclusion, I don't see how the band can start working again. Unless, of course, they are forced to. Now, it has happened that an idol would try to leave their company and then they stay and keep promoting under them. The big example I can mention is TS Entertainment and BAP. So what can the Rose do? Well, once the members' mandatory military service has been finished, the group have a few options. They can try to sue again. If they have more information that will help them with their case, they can stay under the company and either not promote, or of course they can try and break out of their own contract, but that means that they will owe the company a fee. For example, when Daisy wanted to leave MLD, she was asked to pay 1.1 billion Korean won to terminate a contract. So it's not easy to just leave, because if you can't sue the company, you have to pay the company to leave. It's kind of fucked. Plus, when leaving, that doesn't mean that the group can keep their name or the right to their songs. Of course, we don't know what kind of contract the Rose has, but sometimes the company will keep copyrighted material like songs or names. Sadly, there isn't a lot that fans can do besides just let the group know that they're still here and they're not giving up on them. And we can also try to let the company know that we're not happy with the band's treatment. I honestly don't know if the Rose will have a comeback under Jane Star Company, and sadly only time will tell. But sadly, that's gonna be it for this video. There haven't been a lot of updates since the original announcement of the lawsuit and the announcement that the case was denied. So this is basically all I can give you guys, but I can tell you that fans are getting worried every day about the future of the Rose. So if you have some time out of your day, please go support the band and maybe call out the company if you feel like it, of course. If you haven't, please check out their songs. They're very amazing. And just thank you guys for watching. I hope I gave you some insight into the treatment of the Rose and maybe sparked some interest. Let me know what you think about the Rose. Did you know about them before or did you not? But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for watching and I will see you guys in my next video.